Hello, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. Let me know if you can hear me okay. Sorry about the delay a little bit. I woke up late as I slept at 6 o'clock. So let's see what we have here. So I read your stuff, Aman. Did he not apologize to you, or did you not discuss with him that he took your coding and put his name on it rather than saying it's both of your work? You must have already discussed that with him. That's why you stopped your friendship with him. Yeah. So now, if he hasn't made any approach or interest to patch things up, well, at a certain maybe occasion, if you guys happen to be somewhere among the groups and you know you guys run into each other, you can just friendly say, I'm still pissed off at you for what you did, man. Then see what he says. Then based on that, you'll continue. Otherwise, go find other friends. Things happens like this in life. You can't follow that. OT7 BTS fan. I don't know what that is, but says, me and my friends do gay jokes for fun all the time, and they call me gay and others too, and I get it dare to shout out, I'm gay and I'm proud. I just take these thoughts and images as jokes now. And it says, Aman, don't tell him that you have HOCD because okay, so he's talking to you. All right. And all right. Daniel Vasile says, hi, Miran. HOCD made me introspect, and realize I don't like men. I did all the compulsions possible. Can I first ask you guys remember the protocol? I don't know who's talking to me, so I need gender, age, and where you're tuning in from. Like which country, what age, what your gender is to begin with. Because from names, I can't tell. In some country, Danielle is male's name. Some country, Danielle could be woman's name. So I just need that info, please. So I'll follow that. Daniel Vasile 29, male, Denmark. Thank you for that. Says, hi, Miran. HOCD made me intercept and realize I don't like men. I did all the compulsion possible. I do not like men. All right. So, where are we? And just one moment. Let me check something. Mhm. Okay. Okay. So you say, Hammer and HOCD made me introspect and realize I don't like men. I did all the compulsion possible. I do not like men. However, now I jumped into another obsession. I'm embarrassed to say lady boys. What is that? I've never heard that. What's that mean? I don't understand how I could move on from men HOCD into that obsession. Explain to me. I don't understand what that means. It says, and yes, regular pornography seems boring. It says, I have a feeling I turned this into a weird Pavlovian thing. Well, this fucking pornography thing, it's okay when you are, very young and you don't get enough sex and you fantasize about women and, you just, see that because everything is like a learning process. And, but eventually at one point, you got to realize that nothing is better than the real thing. So you keep watching these porn things, you get the feeling that you've already had sex. So you stop going after girls, you stop, having a normal real life interaction because brain doesn't understand anything different between virtuality and actuality. So um, when you uh, comply to its desire and satisfy its curiosity or its um, need for intimacy through virtual experiences, then it becomes satisfied and it doesn't have that gusto or interest to pursue the actual experience of dating a woman and going out and getting to know each other and then the intimacy and all that. And that becomes your habit and you become lazy. And then you constantly get exposed to things that you're not at the young age to want to watch them for curiosity. It just becomes you try to the brain becomes more active in a virtual world because you don't have actual experiences, and then it kind of replaces your natural interest to go after girls and date them and go through the whole process just sitting and watching a thing and then kind of feel like, okay, I've had my date. And then the brain picks up all these things and makes up things, and then you end up with obsessions and compulsion and all that. That's so it's not helpful, especially if you have OCD or HOCD and stuff like that. Put the porn away. It's like saying, I imagine I'm planting an orange tree and having an orange. Well, go have an orange, go plant an orange tree, get a farm, get a land and plant it and see the whole process, and then actually live the way that you actually desire to live rather than just virtually imagining it, and then eventually get satisfied by these imaginations, and then the imaginations start creating a world and run around because they're limited in a way and they try to expand their kind of universe, and then you start having to deal with things that is none of your interest, none of your inclinations, none of your values, but you think that, oh, it's a virtual world, and if it's suggested, then it must be my world and my interest. No, it's not. It's just a virtual shit that you allowed it to keep expanding itself on the wrong tangent to your lifestyle. So I don't recommend porn at all, really. At one point or another, here and there. But all right, you got to protect your mentality. You can't just constantly um, allow things that are not of your interest to be, you know, in your proximity or your experiences, and then expect not to react or have that as part of your, challenges of thoughts and whatnot. Just got to protect and create a cleaner environment for yourself, create a crafted environment for yourself based on your values and based on what you want to see, what you think it's right for you, and then pursue your life on that basis rather than anything goes type of thing just because I'm lazy. Yeah. So build an environment where it is the kind of environment that you want to swim in, you want to interact, and then things will change for you. It would be according to your design rather than just the brain's design, which it has no intellect. It just makes thoughts and makes scenarios based on all the things that it um, 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 gets to know about what's happening in the outside world, and through the mediums, through things that you witness, and different mentalities, different lifestyles. All that information gets to your consciousness, and the brain picks them up and makes thoughts with it, and then you have to deal with them. Create a certain kind of experience and environment in your life that is in line with your values, so you don't necessarily have to deal with all the stuff that is automatically seeps through your consciousness anyhow. At least you've got some kind of a filter or selection process to choose what you want to be exposed and what you don't want to be exposed. you know Nothing more than what accidentally seeps through the consciousness. At least you don't make make that to be a continuous thing. You will have some kind of a filters and uh, you know preferences that you will abide by. That's how you lead your life, rather than you just let anything comes in and you have to deal with anything. So you're constantly dealing with things that is not of your interest. So, yeah. That's my 2 bit on that. Connie. Connie is female 17, London. Says, hi, Miran. Why do all HOCD thoughts feel like I'm okay with it and I like them? I tested myself a lot and it doesn't feel gross. Why does it have to feel gross? It's just what it is. For some people, that is their preference. And for you, may or may not be. So it doesn't have to feel gross to know that you are interested or you're not interested. Many things can be, it doesn't have to feel gross to you, but you're not interested in that. It doesn't mean that if it's not gross to you, then you're interested in it. If it's gross to you, then that's an evidence you're not interested. No, it cannot be gross, but you're not interested in it. It could be gross and some people could be interested in it. Depends on what it is. So that shouldn't be your measuring stick at what you are or are not. You just understand that almost anything in this world exists, and they can exist, to each his own. You don't need to have to be grossed out of it or ungrossed out of it or to like it. So whether you react this way or that way doesn't mean anything about your inclination. Just means that you accept that many different lifestyles, many different things exist. So okay, to each his own. My preferences is this. My values are this. Somebody else's values and preferences are that. I don't have to be grossed about that. I just see that it's not according to my values or my interests. It may gross me, may not, but either way, it's not my interest. So I don't care how my reaction is. I care what my selection is. So you roll by your vetoes and choices, not by what you hate or you don't hate. What you grosses you out, then it means something. What it doesn't gross you, it means something else. No, none of that means anything to you. Only your vetoes and choices is what determines what's meaningful to you or not, relevant to you or not. So get all these things out of your head and just live by your choices and your values. That's all. All kind of mentalities and lifestyle is there, but doesn't mean that I should hate this or hate that or like this or like that to mean this. No, they can be there. Okay, just like thoughts. I accept that thoughts can exist, but just because they show up doesn't mean that, oh, they showed up, that means something to me. No, it just means they exist. They come and go. Like I explained in my previous live stream, we are like oceans. Ships come and go. And the fact that we're there, ships can become visible on them as they pass by. But we are just a pathway and a screen for ships to pass by. Doesn't mean if they're passing on our ocean, they would end up changing the ocean's characteristics. It just means that our existence allows ships to be visible and pass by. And they can pass by, but they don't change the ocean. And regardless of what the ships carry, it doesn't change the ocean's characteristics or quality. Same thing. I'm the ocean, thoughts are the ships. This is a pathway, my brain. It can come and go. I accept that thoughts can exist. So they show up, and the screen of my head makes it possible for them to be visible. But just because they become visible, that doesn't mean I'm that. Or they can have an influence on changing me because that suggestion became visible in the screen of my head. No, I accept thoughts can exist. I'm the ocean, thoughts are the ships. They come and go, and I let them come and go. I don't have to inspect them. I don't have to know what it means. When the ocean sees ships coming, it doesn't send the Coast Guard, check the ship, what's carrying. I don't care. It just lets it pass because it says the sooner it passes by, the more I see my scenery and clarity. So, thought comes in, let them go. Don't investigate them. Interpret them. What it means. What does it mean? It has a message. Oh, I am not like this. I debate with it, interact with it, fight with it, argue with it. What the fuck is the brain that you want to argue with? It's a fucking organ. You think it's an intellect? It's not an intellect. It's not you. It's not an. It's just a fucking organ that is supposed to facilitate what you need to calculate something, learn something, analyze something, produce something, design something. It's a tool. Now you want to prove to this tool as it shows up with some kind of a neuron exchange to create thoughts. You want to prove it that that's not me. That's not, it doesn't have a fucking opinion. It doesn't have an intellect. It's a it's a material process. It's not smart or anything. It doesn't know what it guesses things. Just throws out thoughts. But you want to prove to the brain because brain is your boss. I have to show it what it is. No, it works for you. You don't work for the brain. So brain can say whatever the shit it wants to say. You ignore it, and that's the end of it. It's not the boss. You're the boss. So that's how you should think about thoughts. This tea is my new found. That is very interesting. I've never had it before. I've been having it for past few days. It's roasted dandelion root. And dandelion apparently, as I have heard, is very good for you, for your heart, for your everything. There's so much nutritional values in it, which apparently everybody or some big companies try to downgrade it. Say, oh, just throw it out. It grows anywhere in any kind of a backyard, and you can apparently, as I've heard, you check yourself, but you can take the roots and clean it up and eat it, and it's really good for you. And I'm having this tea. It's actually not bad. Kind of a heavy body and little um, roasted smell. I don't know. It could be tea. It could be coffee. It could be anything. It's not bad. It's good for you apparently. All right, where are we? OT7 says, I'm a 16-year-old female and my thoughts are not strong anymore because I do meditation and it helps, but I want I want to ask if I constantly ignore my thoughts or images over time, will they go away over to yeah, of course they do. Because the brain gets trained and rewired and notices that you're not interested in interaction or paying attention to these sort of thoughts or themes of thoughts. And it learns by the way you react and behave to thoughts. The more attention you pay to them, the more they become produced and visible because it doesn't have an intellect. It thinks it's like YouTube channels or TikTok. Whatever you click on more, that's the kind of thing it keeps coming back because it thinks you have an interest or some kind of a reason you want more of that to come in because you interacted with it. So don't click on it. In other words, don't pay attention to that certain thought that is not of your interest. By ignoring it, you're giving a different signal to it that switch channel, switch content to something else because I'm a customer, I'm a viewer, and you, as a producer of entertainment or thoughts, are not serving me well. So it tries to find the algorithm. So, pretty much in a nutshell, it's that way. So, ignore and do what your meditation is very good because when you meditate, it increases the GABA neurotransmitter, GABA neurotransmitter, which is responsible for being anti-depression, anti-intrusive thoughts, anti-anxiety, and responsible for management of the intrusive thoughts. So meditation is very good for many things, including these sort of things. Brings balance and helps to rewire the brain you know, towards what you wanted to function as. Terminator versus me says, yeah, okay, Terminator, I need to know age, gender, where you're tuning in from. All right, let's see. It's 2:18. I'll be here to 2:45, another, or 2:50. That's it. I gotta go. So Daniel Vasilis says, is actually battling this. Daniel says many guys with HOC are actually battling this trans obsession, it seems. Um, Chris Marquez says, I get false attraction towards my sad and little brother. Yeah, that's another kind of OCD. It's like pedophile OCD, responsibility OCD, touch a light 100 million times, or your parents die OCD, wash your hands OCD, check the oven or check the door a million times before you leave OCD, harm OCD, HOCD, as I mentioned, pedophile OCD, or these sort of OCDs that you're saying. These are all just consider ship coming, ship, let it go. Don't interpret it. When you don't interpret it, you're fine. And if you needed to interpret thoughts, well, I have a playlist that has interpreted all these thoughts for you, most of it, and tells you how the process of these brain working associates words, and the words have meanings, and it goes on that tangent. That's what it comes up with, some kind of interpretation that freaks you out. But it's got nothing to do with your inclination or your preferences. It has to do with the function and malfunction of the brain and the association of the words and so on and so forth. So it's all on that playlist. And what is it? Intrusive thoughts, transient thoughts, OCD, HOCD, negative thoughts. That's the name of that playlist. And the other playlist, which is only focusing on understanding and proving and help you to see clearly, philosophically and scientifically, separation between brain and you. And that is a very important part of dealing with mental issues such as OCD and subsets of OCD. And I have links of, and that playlist is called Intrusive Thoughts, or Intrusive HOCD, Intrusive OCD, HOCD short videos. That's what I think it's called. And I have included links of well-known experts, psychologists such as Dr. Philipson, Dr. Jan Weiner, Dr. Schwartz, and a few others that you can watch their programs and their videos and learn and educate yourself about this, so you won't be bamboozled and freaked out. Nothing is changing in you. Spinoza says was, oh, you're talking to somebody else, all right? Well, Nemo, go and watch the video that I have created based on the production of Dr. Ignar, which shows you Nobel Prize winning type of a Nobel Prize type of research of Dr. Speary, neuroscientist, neurosurgeon, Dr. Penfield, neurosurgeon, neuroscientist, Dr. Owen, neurosurgeon, neuroscientist, and Dr. Libet. But these are brilliant experiences in the lab that elaborately I've explained, that shows you the debate between um, the argument that free will doesn't exist, that is the theme of materialism, materialist from the Aristotle time, and the philosophical opinion of the dualism, which says there is something beyond the brain and brain is not it. The materialists were talking about uh, void and atoms and void. There's something or nothing. The dualists were talking about there's something far higher than brain, and that was 1,000 years ago. Aristotle brought that out, and now modern science have proven it, that materialism is bullshit, and there is actually higher stage of brain, that there are aspects of you and the mind that the brain cannot even reach, and they have proven that scientifically. In that particular video, I have created that information based on the experience of these scientists. And here I put the link for you, so you will not be bamboozled anymore saying that the free will doesn't exist, because Dr. Leibetz's experience specifically is based on showing that that very thing that you're saying is actually false. And it was proven. And actually, Dr. Leibet started his, or was it Dr. Penfield that started as a dualist, but he ended up his career as a strong, I'm sorry, he started his career as a materialist, but when he finished his career, he was a strong advocate of dualism because of all these scientific experiences. And so here it is for you to have that. There we go. Daniel Vasilis says, interesting team around. Make more recommendations. Well, it's a little bit strong, but it's when you focus on the goodness of it, I guess it will fine. And you can, kind of make it thinner or thicker, less, more, take the tea bag out sooner, it'll be weaker. But it's definitely better than all that caffeine. So I either have decaffeinated green tea these days, or this thing, which I'm trying to mix something with it. I don't know, maybe lemon, and see how it goes. I'll experience with it. I can maybe improve the taste. um, Four Seasons says, okay, 43 male Canada says, science is close to creating virtual reality games looking so real, you will not able to distinguish it from your current reality. In your opinion, what is reality? I actually have a T-shirt that I've designed on that. It says, "Life is an illusion. The illusion you focus on is the reality." Yeah, but reality is not one. For you is different reality. For somebody is different reality, because what you are, how you're put together, and your preferences and your choices creates your reality, because you're gravitating toward that tangent. So there's so many realities for different people. There's no one thing. Um, Terminator versus me says, I'm male, 16 years old. I've always liked girls. Where are you located? God damn it, guys. How difficult is this thing that I'm asking? Gender, age, where are you tuning in from, my friends? Where? Which city? Which country? That gives me a little cultural background that helps me to know who I'm talking with. 16 years old. I hope you have permission from your parents to be here, because I just want to make sure that you understand this is for 18 years old and up channel, so I hope that you have that permission from your parents to be here. No, you don't have to try stuff. You don't have to make sure of shit. You go by your choices and vetoes. What is it? Well, I don't like to put my hand in the fire, but I got to put it in just to make sure it burns. Then I'm satisfied that, oh, I shouldn't do it. No, I make a choice according to what my senses tell me and what my preferences and knowledge is. And, I don't have to do everything to know if it's something I should or should not do. I already should be able to tell without committing to so many things in actuality to have a conclusion about this is my values or not. No, you can simply decide, and that's what you have a ability to recognize things and activities based on your values that are sacred to you, that defines you. Your choices and vetoes and values defines you. Not that I got to do this to make sure. No, that's OCD. You don't have to make sure about anything. Just live your life based on your vetoes and your choices. Terminator. Brazil, 31. Where's the gender? Gustavo. Okay, Gustavo. I can understand it's male's name. Brazil 31, Meron, I have to thank you for all the videos. I consider myself 100% cured of HOCD, and I dating a pretty girl now. Oh, okay, Brazilian girls, of course. Ever my attitude has changed. I'm more confident and happy. Yes, when you go through HOCD, you become more confident because you become wiser and educated about the malfunction of the brain, and then you are simply um, given that boost of understanding how the brain works. It just kind of helps you to inwardly understand what this apparatus is about, and that it is not you. This apparatus is an apparatus. It's not you. Brain is not you. You're not the brain. And the confusion OCD subsets of OCD is that people start taking cues from the brain rather than having the brain comply to their values and choices and preferences, and not thinking what the brain suggests, which is not an intellect, is defining them. And then they follow that, trying to prove to the brain, and they are confusion. These are statics. Anything electrical malfunctions. Even biologically, we malfunction. Our intestine gets diarrhea, but we understand that that's a malfunction, and we try to do things that will remedy it and help it to go back to its original behavior and function. But when it comes to our brain, we somehow think brain is infallible, is perfect. So what it does is not a malfunction. It's actually what it no, it fucks up, it malfunctions. So you gotta help it as the boss of the brain to regain its balance, to be retrained, to be rewired through neuroplasticity, which is through your behavior toward these thoughts and suggestions. You learn about the brain and treat it as an organ, as a subordinate, as an employee, not as your boss that you should take your cues from it. You actually help it to comply and behave as it was designed to behave for you, for your gender, for your makeup. And when it goes off rail, you recognize it, and based on what's meaningful for you, to you, what's your values, what's in line with your values, based on that, what's sacred to you, that you protect and have it in your wise advocate. Dr. Schwartz called it wise advocate. Dr. Philipson calls it gatekeeper. Your sacred values, your identity, your what is meaningful to you is protected in that particular center. I call it super consciousness and gatekeeper and wise advocate. These are what defines you. And based on that, you train the brain when it goes off rail. To begin with, it's supposed to be in line with what your values are. But when it goes malfunctioning, then you got to help it to bring it back to what it was designed to function for you. So that's why you become wiser, stronger, and more confident because you understand the mechanism and the malfunction and the function of the brain and the role of the brain. Not that the brain is you and you're not the brain and brain is not you. You're the boss and you're the selector and the judge of what the brain conjures up. All right. And A. Ahangar says, hello, everyone. Dear Mehran, hello. Says, I am dealing with so many so called girls near my age, 68. Oh, okay. That sounds good. From dating site in Toronto. And for one thing, I'm confused and can't forget some of them for days. Well, that's all right. It's no bad. That's not bad. It's good. What's wrong with that? You know, we were built not to forget women. So, uh, I guess is what's wrong. Nothing. You're 68 years old, and every woman is precious to you at this age. And you think you got to have more than one in order to satisfy yourself and feel young, but you don't. You pick the one that you think is the most is the best choice of them all, and stick with that. Build a relationship with that. And if that didn't work, then you go to the next. But trying to hoard them out and remember every one of them as if you forget them, that means you're no longer young and your chances are gone. That creates confusion. So just don't worry about how many is out there. Take the one that you like. And if it didn't work, well, you can remember them, but you also remember it didn't work. So no good remembering them more than just a memory. Don't wish for them. Just go for the next one. Uh, Terminator says, I'm from Lebanon. Okay, thank you for that. Nemo, I think you need to study a little bit more and research. You're just talking out of your head. Free will is what the materialists were believed, but it's proven by neurosurgery and neuroscience, especially Dr. Leibet's experience, which you haven't watched it, but you're making comment on it. Go on and watch that, and you will see that the fact that they were talking about free will doesn't exist, that was the materialists talking about. But Dr. Leibet actually proved to them scientifically, and therefore that's over with. So go watch that link that I put in there. Dr. Leibet. No, no, Limo, you're wrong. Free will is it's the materialists that they said free will doesn't exist. Dr. Leibet proved it scientifically through neurosurgery and neuroscience that it does exist. Through neuroscience experiment, it does exist. And that is what the brain cannot reach. That's why Dr. Owen proved a smashed brain that supposedly materialistically is demolished through an accident still can function and communicate while it's smashed. That is what is beyond the brain, which is not to do with the brain, which materialists called it the source of all the wills, but there is far beyond that. And then Dr. Leibet, with another brilliant experiment, proved it as well. So you go watch that. I don't want to debate it in here. And guys, what is it time? Okay, we still have a little bit more time. Yeah. If you're talking about, maybe you're confused about that, you're using the word free will for the um, independent function of the brain that is just a machine to make thoughts, that's different. You're using it wrong. Brain makes thoughts that is oblivious to, that you're not responsible for. You've got nothing to do with it. It's an independent system. But that is not supposed to be, that's free. That's not indication of that the free will doesn't exist. That is an indication of brain is a separate independent system that conjures up thoughts and doesn't know even actually what it makes. It just makes thoughts. And it has lots of other discussion about it. But free will certainly does exist. That is why you can actually reprogram, rewire the brain. So don't get these two confused. Yeah, you can stop judging yourself and others because the brain is not you and you're not the brain. The brain is an independent system, can say whatever shit it wants to say, but it's got nothing to do with you. That's what maybe you're trying to say. But anyhow, I hope that will help you out. So, guys, it looks like there's no more questions here. So, I guess it's time for me to say, I love you all. Thank you very much for being here, giving me the opportunity to share a thing or two with you. I look forward to our next live stream, whether it's tonight, 12 midnight, or 1 a.m., or tomorrow. I don't know. Depends on. So, in the meantime, be good to yourself and to the others. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now. Subscribe on my channel, visit my channel, and go through the videos that you might be interested in. Mind-that-seeks-truth.com is making it one step away to talk to me one-on-one on Skype and discuss what's concerning you. I'll talk to you soon.